and take questions for these gentlemen.
You guys both had two big games, both went to the club. You guys feel, and you have to feel Keyshawn's shoes how he wants right now.
Yeah, I believe that, it's going to be a collective effort. Keyshawn was an all-MAC player that we had for 2 years, and we're used to him, getting us going on the offensive end and defensive end. And without him in the game, we definitely have to have multiple people pick up and have better efforts.
Yeah, I agree. Keyshawn brought a lot of our offense, so we all have to step up, me, KT, and the rest of the team.
Excuse me, Darwish just said it was a career, I think it was a career high for you today. What was that play out there?
My catch and shoot three, I think, got me going. I was a little bit more aggressive than I normally am. Seeing some shots go through the basket and got me going early.
You guys are the team before you see some penalties. What's something that you guys want to work on in practice and talk about in the coming games to fix that problem?
That's been our Achilles heel the entire year. I feel like if we could clean up our turnovers, it cleans up a lot of our problems. We could cover a lot of our problems without turning the ball over. And I think that, if we could just shore some things up in practice, like we have been trying to, it just didn't work out today. I think that we could get on the right track.
A game like this for you, what does that do, I guess, confidence-wise maybe for you, especially for, I don't know his time frame here, but when Keyshawn comes back, giving another piece when you're all on the court together full strength?
Yeah, it definitely boosts my confidence. I think when anybody has a good game, it boosts their confidence. But hopefully when we get Keyshawn back, I'll still be doing the same thing. More points, we're scoring, clicking better as a team, and get some more wins.
Like you said, turnovers is number one, and then number two, rebounding. We're kind of shorthanded. We foul a lot, and that's also how we get behind against a lot of good teams. Give them free throws, and that's the easiest way for other teams to get going. And I think if we could, like I said earlier, shore those things up in practice, just like you said, make it a consistent effort to do these things every night, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, turnovers and rebounds, and then that's really about it. If we cut down the turnovers and then get some offensive rebounds, and we'll be in a better place. We'll be in a position to win the game instead of losing by 17.
What was the biggest challenge that on the defensive end that Toledo,
I would say I didn't really think they did anything special. I would say I don't think our communication was there. We weren't on the same page. We had a lot of miscommunications out there. Guys getting open looks at the three that we can't have. That's really about it. And then they were offensive rebound the ball and give them easy second chance points. So I feel like that hurt us a lot.
And similar, same thing, just a lot of switching. Sometimes plays us because we get confused by it, by having a 5 on a 1 or a 4 on a 2. And I think if we could just figure out that it's just offense, it's the same thing. Those things shouldn't affect us and won't affect us in the future.
And then KT, you started out really hot from the three-point land. Just how comfortable were you feeling, and is that something that's been coming along for you?
Yes, ma'am. A lot of work, a lot of reps is something that I pride myself on. I was not heralded as a great shooter ever in my career, but I think that through work it shows in times like this, in games like this, even though we lost. So it doesn't really matter too much to me, but like you said, it is good to have a good feeling going into Tuesday.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Disappointing first half. 12 turnovers really put us in harm's way. We told our guys going into the game, especially against a team like Toledo, who by the numbers are one of the most efficient teams in the country. You can't spot them any opportunities. So you got to go down and run really good offense and manage the game, and you got to make shots. We knew we couldn't get into a scoring contest with them. They're talented 1 through 5, and all those guys have the capability of scoring in bunches. And so what we try to do is just manage the game, still be aggressive but under control, and more importantly, not turn the ball over. And I thought the first 20 minutes we put ourselves, we had 12 turnovers, 14 in total, right? So that's 16 in total. So that's 4 in the second half. If you look at the tails of 2 halves, we got better shot attempts. Our field goal percentage was better from 3 and 2, but when you're down 17 against a veteran team, that's an older team. Guys have all played multiple years within the system, and then obviously guys transferring in for their 5th year. It's a hard game to win, and so we didn't get off to the right start. I think the first 4 minutes of the game we were in the game, and then we had our issues we've had all year in turning the ball over, and that put us behind the 8 ball. Well, when we're not turning the ball over and we're getting to the paint, our efficiency is at 1.23, which puts us in the better half of the country. The problem is when we get sped up and we try to do too much, we're putting ourselves in harm's way. And some of it is lack of focus, lack of concentration, and I think guys just trying to do too much. So we got to clean that up, and that's been our Achilles heel all year. When we don't turn it and we're under 30%. Meaning 30% of our possessions don't end in turnovers or less. We're I think what I'm saying we're 5-2. 4-2, right? So we got to do a better job of not turning the ball over because it deflates you, and especially when you're playing against a team who's offensively talented like they are, that's giving them too many bites at the apple. Well, you just got to keep it going. You hope that, they can give you another option, which allows, David Coit and Zarik Nutter not to have as much to do from the offensive end, and it gives you a more balanced team. So I'm happy those guys had success, but doesn't mean like anything else. It doesn't mean it's going to carry over to the next day, right? You got to start over. But it gives you confidence that what you're doing to that point is working. You just got to stay with it and stay committed to the process. But it allows us to be a better basketball team when you can get additional guys to get double figures. And it was an efficient game for KT and Darwishi, 7 for 15 and 6 for 11. There was 10 for 14 from 3, which is an efficient number. And so we just got to keep those guys in rhythm. But those guys got to fight the urge to breathe, relax, because think that hey, I've done it, and so it's just going to happen on Tuesday. They got to stay locked in. No, not yet. So we're moving forward as if he'll be out for the next couple of games. Yannick is day to day. Well, and speaking to the team, like it was just a lack of communication, but it's a ripple effect, right? You turn it over, you have some negative plays, you're selfish, meaning you're not doing well, and so what young kids tend to do is they tend to just dwell on what they're not doing, right? And they don't play the next play, and so then it becomes an avalanche, right? Then it's a snowball effect, right? One play on the offensive end shouldn't affect what happens on the defensive end. And we're still a young, immature team in that regard. And so 1 bad play, 2 bad plays equals 6 bad plays. But when you play against a team like Toledo who can score in bunches, that can be like, an 8-0, 10-0 run. Before you know it, you're down 12. And that's the name of the game when you play against really good teams in conference. You got to minimize the bad plays, the compound mistakes, and you got to be able to snap out of it, wake up, and then move on quickly, or you put yourselves like we were, down 17. Thank you, guys.